Hello and welcome, my friends. My name is Doug, and I'm coming to you from the beautiful desert of New Mexico. This is a podcast about knitting and all the yarny things, and today I will not talk about paper. I know that some of you knitters out there, they're like, get it on, come back to the yarn and the knitting content. Yeah, I'm in a completely different location today because I thought I need to find a quiet spot. I'm gonna go upstairs and yes, my daughter's room. She is back in San Diego in college for her last year. And so this is a great location to film. One exception, it gets fairly hot, and I had the air conditioning, or the swamp coolers, that is, I had those running, but now I feel like they're blowing, it's too noisy in the background. So I hope I'm going to be okay without that. Yes, where to start? I didn't show you my finished object last time. I don't even know where I had put it. Maybe it was still outside, but I had completely forgotten that I had finished my colorful pillowcase, I should say. And I had an orange pillow and I fitted it around that pillow. And if you see the little thingamabob on the bottom, I thought, just in case this thing needs a wash, I will leave this hanging like this so I can unravel a little bit down here and then take out the pillow and wash the cover. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this went. This is decay weight cotton and all leftovers, and I found this base square in a crochet book, and I just kept going with the granny, and I love how it turned out. Here I was kind of like row by row, but on the back side I just used up different colors, and that's why you see wonky things like here, which I thought were fun and not a big deal at all. Yeah, that's my pillow. And then, yeah, I have to tell you, I feel like today I have nothing really much to show you. And I wonder why, because it's not that I don't have any ideas, but sometimes you just don't get around to do your knitting and your crochet as much as you would like to, whatever the reasons are. And like yesterday during the day, I was prepping for making project bags, so for sewing, and today it's not much, but I still hope you will enjoy it. We do currently have the Duke Mania 2023 started, and I am using this Shoppe Zauberball, crazy Zauberball, that a German friend had gifted me, and I had purchased an orange silk mohair blend to hold with it, and I am kind of almost done, but let's see. I have waited on doing the thumbs. I haven't done those because I like to use a similar location in my ball of yarn to have a similar looking thumb, similar than the body of the mitt. And so, and you're wondering, so just roll off a little bit, but no, I thought I keep knitting. And so I started another pair, And this one is a single used. Oh, okay. I was just wondering why this looks so funny. This is just the beautiful ZiaWoolz. And isn't that interesting how the colors, I'm going to come closer, how the colors get washed out by that mohair. And really, it's important to get a mohair that really picks up the feel of a colorway. Like in this case, it screamed orange, and so that's what I used and held together. Sorry, I didn't bring that that ball, that little leftover. But for this, it's just so much crisper. Yeah. And I thought that would be fun to see how different they turn out compared to each other. For this, I have used 3.5 millimeter needles, and the pattern is called Duke City Mitts. I knit a lot of these every year to sell at my studio tour. But these will actually be for myself. And there is a hashtag. So if you're on Instagram, you can go and look up. There's a bunch of fingerless mitts already. Yes, a bunch of Duke City mitts already on Instagram. I need to pay attention where I'm sitting. So I come closer and then I'm like, hello, blah, blah, blah. No. Yes, very excited about these. And then I started working on, oh wait, I didn't tell you. These I knit with the same needle size as I use for socks, 2.5 millimeter needles with 13 stitches per needle. And that would not be included in that pattern to have such a fine gauge. Yeah. But otherwise, free pattern, the Duke City Mitts on Ravelry. What else have I been working on? I wanted to, and I've mentioned that before, I would really want to publish a pattern for what used to be called Dickerchen. They will get a different name because I don't know, how do you English speakers, Native Americans feel about the name Dickerchen? I haven't even looked if there's a pattern called Dickerchen on Ravelry. I should probably do that first. But I'm thinking about another name to be a little more international, Englishish. Yes, and I am using my beautiful yarn bowl from local Sarah of Southwest Sunflower Pottery. And I'm currently working on the smallest size, which will be a size 35 to 36. In a color theme, pastel. Again, 3.5 millimeter needles, and I have picked this yarn also. Then when maybe you've seen that this one is already running out, and then I'm going to use this one instead. So just using up leftovers, and I've already picked the yarn for the other socks in the next sizes, and you will see those as I start working on them. I'm going to keep knitting, and I want to figure out what's the best way to write this up so that someone who maybe has never made a pair of socks could make sense of it and knit their own pair of socks. Yes, what is next? I told you about the socks, 3.5 millimeter needles, double held fingering sock yarn leftovers. Told you about the Duke City Mitts, Duke Mania, and showed you my pillow. And next is my beautiful Sagita shawl, which is the shawl that is turning symmetrical. Switch to a symmetrical shawl from an asymmetrical pattern where you start at one end. I am using, again, 3.5 millimeter needles, and the yarn that I've used is Wonderland Yarns, what is left of a gradient set that I had already used for another shawl recently. And then you may remember my dilemma. I really was uncertain if I should keep the green in there. And as you can see, I decided to do so after my friend Des sent a message, don't take it out, don't take it out. And I thought, okay, I'll just roll with that. She was so determined and decided on me keeping it. So I thought, well, if I really hate it when it's done, I know where to send the shawl. Yeah. And man, I'm telling you, I have probably about 450 stitches per row. So this baby grows slowly, very slowly. Last night, I think I got 5, maybe 6, no, 5 rows done. And what did I find out in the end? This, my yarn overs and 2 together should be going the other direction to create a different direction V. You're gonna say that won't matter, but it matters a little bit, because that stitch that kind of travels visually, I mean, unvisually, it's created by a 2 together or an SSK. So that traveling stitch transitions into a slip stitch for the next pattern section. And as you can see down here. And so I thought, what am I going to do? Am I going to rip out 2.5 hours of Judy Garland Entertained knitting? Yes, I watched that movie last night, and that's while I worked on this. Or my other thought was, I'm just going to shift the pattern repeat. I mean, of course, this pattern repeat is going to stay, but on paper, I'm going to shift the pattern repeat. Oh, wait a second. Can I even do that? Because I have to, I gotta look at it again. I thought it's possible, but here I have 2 purl stitches, but here in the middle I have only 1 purl stitch. So I'm not sure if that's gonna work. I really may have to rip it out. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see. I have to look at the pattern and see if I can figure out a way to avoid this. In the meantime, I'll just keep knitting. And the red I showed you another time, and the blue that I'm working with right now is ZiaWoolz My Sugarloaf yarn, which I absolutely love working with because it creates this light yet fuzzy, warm, knitted fabric. It's really one of my favorites. I've talked about it many times. Yes, and that is the Sagita shawl. There is a kind of like a small mini knit along happening. So if you're on Instagram, you can check it out, probably by Sagita Kal, that hashtag. Give me a second. I needed a drink of water because it's getting hot up here. So where was I? I am done with my knitting. I told you everything. I showed you everything that I have been working on. Believe it or not, I have a hard time believing it myself, but it is what it is. This is not a competition, neither for me, nor is it for you. It's our hobby and we love doing the things with yarn. I have to tell you, and you know that because I talked about it, I really wanted to start a new crochet project and I wasn't sure which one, couldn't make up my mind. And then, long story short, all of a sudden someone gifts me a pattern. This is nothing that's interesting for anybody who does not speak German because it's a German pattern and it's by the designer Anja, who also hosts a German-spoken podcast on YouTube, which is called Strick und Fit. Anja has recently designed this super cute crochet top. And I will show you a picture in a second. Flowers here, and then a whatever fabric pattern, and it's so cute. Could have shown you right away, right? Is it not the cutest thing ever? Yeah. I have seen some footage where she wears it on her podcast and it looks really nice. So now I wanted to go sash diving. I hope this is not going to bore you to death because I'm going to take you along on my sash diving. Not really truly take you along into those bins. No, that would be no. I'd be embarrassed about the amounts of yarn that I have. But I thought I'm going to take you along and involve you a little bit in my thought process. What should I use? And I found a few options. Initially, I thought, oh, this is going to be perfect. Let me get this out. This is you've seen me working with this. Nuna is it's the yarn name by Mira Soul. And it has let me see. Where is it? Yes, incredibly lovely 40% silk and 20% viscose on top of the wool. So definitely summer top suitable. One option, but as you can see, I have only this much in orange because, I mean, that would be great, but don't get me wrong, but also everything else, it's just bits and pieces. So not great. That was option one. Then when I went into the bins, I also came across this, which yet again, leftovers. And the blue, oh yeah, that's somebody had given that to my mother. Let's see, just gifted it to her. This is so cute. Look at this. That was in that bag. And the yarn is, oh, see, this is a nice yarn. It's 90% cotton and 10% cashmere, but it's only, yet again, 3 balls of yarn. But maybe I could get more. I don't know. I gotta try it. This in crochet definitely looks beautiful. Then I also found this which is yet again a fingering yarn, 350 meters for 100 grams, and it was a sweet gift. I feel like people have really spoiled me with yarn and other beautiful things like the pattern. This is Soft Silk by BC, isn't it BC? Yes, BC Garn, and it's 100% silk. I also have this, but does it go together? Not really. Even though the yarn content would work, I think. Wait a second. Oh, never mind. This is for 4 ounces, 675 yards. No way. No, couldn't combine that. Wasn't paying attention. Probably didn't have my glasses with me. Then what I was really looking for was this. I thought I had 2 skeins of the pink, but I don't. I really thought I might. And then I also have this, which is the same yarn from a local dyer. It's Theodora's Pearls, and I don't know, I think it would be the bomb, right? Flowers, body, but yet again, I think the yarn is thinner than what Anya calls for, so I will have to do a gauge swatch. Okay, I will have to do a gauge swatch. Yes, I also have this from that same dyer, but I don't think that would work. Let's look at this again. If I run out of yarn on the body, I could still add this on the bottom. That's an option, right? And last but certainly not least, I pulled out this. Let me get 2 balls of yarn out of this bag. A long time ago, I had meant to make a 2-color brioche sweater. I had a pattern in a magazine, but then I started knitting that, and I think I got going for 5 minutes, and I'm like, am I crazy? I'm not ever gonna knit this pattern, so I quickly gave up. Now let us see what this is. If you could crochet with it. It only has knitting needles on there, but the yarn is 100% bamboo, which would be fantastic for a summer garment. But because it's kind of one of those ribbon yarns, I really do not know how that would look like for crochet. And I don't, well, I could still consider using that bubble, the wound yarn. I showed you that it was on the shelf behind me last time, but I don't think that would be a good idea for something like this. That would be really more like for that other top that has the crochet lace in a circle around the neckline, and then a solid fabric below. The colors, I absolutely love them. I think they would be great for me, and I just don't know if it works. Yet again, gauge swatch. Yes, and one last thing. before I let you go, I did want to show you a beautiful shawl pattern that I just found. And because one of my friends, she is the type of knitter who just starts, she throws together like the all shades of blue or green, and then whips up the most beautiful shawls where she just randomly creates patterns. And this one made me think of her and how she creates shawls. And I thought I gotta show you, because believe it or not, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I think it's really pretty. So here they use, how many colors? 3, I think. Yep. But of course you could change colors as you like and be free as a bird. Talking about free as a bird, I'm gonna let you go and fly back into your life with your knitting, crochet, and whatever you are doing right now. And I hope to see you again in about 2 weeks, roughly. I might be going out of town for a week up north to Colorado, and if that truly happens, I am always tempted to film, and then I always think before I leave, oh, that would be fun, it would be nice, and then I never do it. So I'm not going to make any promises, but at least talk about a long car ride. Heck, I will get some knitting done. I'm looking forward to that. Yes. And until I see you again in a little while, I wish you happy knitting.